All right. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. And you're welcome. You're welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. Am I audible? Am I audible? All right. All right. All right. So last week, thank you. So last week we saw Linux permission, right? We played around a lot about Linux permission, and I also shared with us a kind of test your knowledge, all right? Test your knowledge on Linux permission. And I'm assuming we all tried out that link I sent, because that link had a lot of quiz, all right? A lot of quiz around Linux permission. And it's understood that you all did your homework. You all did some practice because we just have to, all right? We just have to. We know what we are pursuing. We all know what we are pursuing, and you have to teach yourself discipline. You have to teach yourself discipline. I'm always available for any doubts in case you are running into doubts. Okay, so this week we are going to start with process management. All right, so by God's grace, before we finish this course, okay, you should have a Linux admin skill sets added to your bag of to your list of skills, because this is purely Linux administration. And if you key into it, because I'm not only teaching you basic commands for DevOps, this would have been what you needed. There are a lot of schools I've seen, they just teach only basic dev Linux commands because that's what you need. All right. But we don't see it that way, because as a DevOps engineer, you still get to do some level of system administration. All right. So, which we are going to see a lot in the course of this program. Yeah. So now today is process management. Process management. Now, every operating system has processes. Okay. When you run an application means maybe you're running a database application, MySQL, Postgre, Apache, web server, Apache, Nginx, all right, or any application. The moment you launch the application automatically creates a process. It is that process that keeps the application alive. Let's talk, guys. Lucy Spark. So it is the process that keeps the application alive. So without a process, an application cannot stay alive. All right. So now let's say, for instance, I have let me call it MySQL. MySQL. I launched this application. This guy is being launched. So once this guy is being launched, all right, this guy is being launched. So this guy is being launched. Once this guy is being launched, automatically, this guy creates a process. It creates a running process. Okay? So it is this running process. It is this running process that keeps this guy alive. It is this running process that keeps MySQL application alive. So it means that, okay, once this process has been executed, there are properties, process properties, right? Properties like process properties. We have the process ID. Process ID. We call it the PID. Now we have something called parent process ID, which is PPID. We also have other properties, which we shall see any moment from now. Other properties that comes with what? This process. All right. Now, the process is identified by the ID. Okay, sorry. We also have the process name. I don't think that is abbreviated. There's a process name. So now, this process could be terminated. Either this process could be terminated either by the process ID or the process name. Let me just give this, but I don't think that's the acronym, process name. Process name doesn't have acronym, but I'm going to check though. So this process could be terminated either by the process ID or the process name. Now, why would you want to terminate a process? There are instances where an application refuses to respond. Why would you want to terminate a process? There are instances where an application refuses to respond. In such an instance, the only way to refresh the application memory is by terminating the process that is attached to the application. Okay? So it's by terminating the process that is attached to the application. So in essence, a process is the live wire. In essence, a process is the live wire. It's the live wire of what? Of a running application. You'll be asked in an interview, all right, if the role is more of a Linux admin role. You could be asked, what is the process? When you're asked what is the process, all right, you could start off by saying a process is a life wire of a running application. Is a life wire of a running application. Then you can now explain this analogy. This thing that you see here, you can explain it. For instance, you have MySQL application. You've launched MySQL application. So the moment you launch MySQL application, the application creates a running process. This process helps to keep this application alive. So invariably, this process is a life wire of this application. This application will not terminate not until the process is terminated. This application will not terminate not until the process that is attached to the application is what is terminated. That is your explanation in simple language. All right? That's it, guys. Okay. So now let's now get into our Linux machine and see what and what is a process. Okay. Right. Now, but before we go into our Linux machine, okay, let me come back here. Let me come here now. There's a command called PS. This PS is the utility that is used to check for running processes. There is a command for manipulating processes. And is PS. So with PS, I'll get to see processes that are running on my Linux machine. Let's check. Though PS ordinarily without a flag won't get you anything, all right? So we always pass some certain flag with what? PS. So the flag will pass PS space dash AUX. I could pass this guy like this. You see, these are different processes. I could also say PS dash EF. It's still giving me the same thing. But now let's check what are the meaning of these flags, EF and AUX. Let's check. So I'll go to my man page. I'll say what? PS, man PS. And let's check these flags. Note that this guy is distinct from this. POSIX and unique standards requires that this prints all processes. Now, this dash A means all right? Owned by a user named X. Owned by a user named what? X. As well as printing all processes that will be selected by a. Let's check. Now, this is it now. To see every process on the system using standard syntax, you do dash E. There's dash E, there's dash E small f, dash E capital F, there's dash ELY. to see every process on the system using the BS syntax. All right. So there's a standard syntax. Here is a standard syntax. Here is the BSD. The BSD is a flavor of Unix, right? It's a flavor of Unix. Now to print, you use this method. To print a process tree, use EJ capital H. Use this method. To get info about threads. Now let's just check them. Security info. Let's check them. I think that's all. Let me copy these guys. Copy these guys. All right. Copy. Bring it over here. All right. So let's check one by one. Let me go out. To go out of that man page, I had to press Q on my keyboard. You can see it over here. Manual page, line this is press H for help or Q to quit. I press Q. I've quitted, right? Now, PS E gives me all of these, all right? So I with this now, I don't get the full detail about the process. Now, these are the processes. System D is a process running. K thread D, RCU, K worker, this, that, migration, K worker, NetNS. These are different processes. And these processes, they have their process IDs. And these processes, they have the terminal which they are running on. But in this context now, the terminal is unknown, as you can see. Now, this guy is running on terminal 1, TTY1, right? And so on and so forth. So these are the process IDs. So if I need to target this process, I will target it by what? By the ID, right? So now let's look at more elaborate one, -EF. So -EF is more elaborate. So -EF tells me the user ID. UID means the user ID. PID is process ID. PPID is the parent process ID. Now, there are processes that are dependent on other processes. There's a parent and child. All right. So now this is a parent process. This is the parent process. Then this is the child process ID. The parent process ID is 0. The child process is 1. All right. So that is the explanation. I don't know if this C. Now this is the start time. This is when the process got started. The start time. Then this is the terminal, the time and the command. All right. So let's look at capital F. Capital F is giving us more detail. Let's check. We have SZ, RSS, PSR, and so on and so forth. Though I don't know what these guys are all about, right? Then let's check that AUX, PS-AUX. Okay, AUX is more, all right, great. So in AUX now we're having additional field. We're having now CPU usage, memory usage in percentage, all right? We also have statistics. This stat means statistics. We have the start time, whatever. But now my concern is these two guys. But mind you, this AUX does not have the PPID. To see the PPID, we may need to fall back to EF. So on EF, we will see the parent process ID. Now, what if we add F to this guy? Let's check. Great. Now, we're now using what? AUXF. So even with AUXF, I'm not even getting the PPID column, right? So I'm just only getting that of AUX only. So let me add an E. Let me add an E. Let's check. The same thing, all right? It's still defaulting back to what? Dash AUX. Okay, so depending on what your target is, all right? So now let's check EJH. Let's check EJH, EJ capital H. All right, let's see now. So this EJH now is, especially the H is in human readable format. Now we have, okay, now great. Now this J now, let me check which one is giving us this column. Let's check. Just J. Let me check the J. Great. So with this J now, I'm getting PID normally. I'm also getting parents GID. So GID means the group which the process belongs to. So the group has their what? Group ID as well. Process group ID. Process group ID. Then SID. That I don't know yet. I don't have the meaning of that SID. Then TTY is a terminal. All right, is a terminal. Then AXJF. Let me try AXJF. Okay, let's see. Let's see what this guy has. PPID, PID, PGID, SID, TPGID, statistics, UID, etc., etc. Right? So, but your go-to guy is always AUX, right? PS-AUX. So you're going to see the processes and their process ID, right? The processes with sugar. The processes with their process ID. Hello, who's sugar? Hello, sugar. Who is this, please?
Hello, it's me, Sani. I was using my phone, so I'm using my friend's laptop right now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I've logged out from my phone.
No wala, no wala.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, so that is it. Now, let me just show us an example, all right? I'm going to run a MySQL application right now so that we're going to see the process being created, all right? So this is what I will do. Just, I want to install MySQL. Sudo yum install. Don't worry, when we get to package management, we shall do a lot of package installations, all right? Then we shall introduce some utilities that are used for managing packages in a Linux environment. So yum install MySQL server. So let's check. All right, no package. Let me do this. No package. Let's do this. All right, so installing MariaDB for me. Let's go. Now, this guy has been installed, but it has not been started. All right. So I will start the service. Now, because now if you see now, I've installed this package, all right? But if I check this guy, dash AUX, there is nothing about MariaDB. MariaDB here. There's no process called MariaDB because the service have not been started. The service for that process has not been started. So if I now do a sudo systemctl restart the service, or I can check the status of the service. Let's check the status of that service, MariaDB. It's not found. MariaDB, it's not also found. So let me install it properly. Yum sudo yum install MariaDB. Already installed now. MySQL. Okay. MySQL -u root -p. Okay. It's not started. Wait for the common. Sudo systemctl restart MySQL. Okay, it's not available. It's not available. Let's do something. Down. Sudo yum install MySQL asterisk. Okay, so this should install the daemon, all right? Because this should have been something like the main server application itself. All right, so let's see what we have. So this should install the daemon for us. All right, so if I now do sudo systemctl restart MySQL, still not available. Sudo yum remove MySQL. All right, sudo yum install MariaDB server. So it's now MariaDB server, not MySQL. So right, so we have the DB server here. Yes. So this should be fine. All right, great. So now sudo systemctl status. I want to check if my guy is running. So I can see this guy is not running. All right. So it means that it has not created a process. Now let's check the process. ps-aux. I won't see it here because that process has not been started. MariaDB. If you can see it, let me know. MariaDB is not here. So let us start the process. Let us start the service. So sudo systemctl restart MariaDB. So this guy the service has been started, right? The moment this service has been started, it's going to start for me a process for what? MariaDB. Now let's check our ps-aux one more time. Let's check if we can see MariaDB somewhere. If you can see, let me know. MariaDB still. Now let's check the status. Sudo systemctl status MariaDB. Let's check. So this guy have started. With which process ID? Supposed to see process ID somewhere. Started MariaDB database server. Can we see a process? Main PID status was successful. Now this is a process. All right. So main PID is 4785. My SQLD underscore save. This is a process name. My SQLD underscore what save. Now let's check for this guy. 4785. 4785 ps-aux. Can you see here, guys? MySQL D underscore save, which is 4785. And the user is what? MySQL. You can see this is the main process, is MySQL. Now, if I check the status of MariaDB, it shows that it is active, right? It's active and it's running. Now I want to terminate this application. All right. Now you can see now in our scenario, this MySQL, it has created a process ID of 4785, a PID of 4785, and this guy is running. right? Now, I want to kill this guy. I want to what? Kill this process, all right? By what? By the process ID. Now, let's come back to our whiteboard. Process command, use PS, all right? Use PS. Now, how to kill a process? We could kill a process. A process could be killed by the process ID or by the process name. You could either use the process ID to kill the process, or you could use what the process name to kill the process. Now let's see how to kill the process. Now, to kill the process by ID, we use what? The kill command. Just kill, right? Kill followed by what? The process ID. Now, this process ID is 4785. I want to kill this guy now. I'll say what? Kill space what? 4785. Enter. Now, operation not permitted. Let me put a sudo because I don't have privilege. I don't have a right to do that. I can't kill a process, a running process. All right. So it is only a root user. Okay. Now let's check now. I've given this guy a root privilege to kill that process. Now let's check if this service is still running. So I'll check sudo systemctl status. This guy is still running, but now it's still running. But I didn't send a signal. I didn't send a signal, a kill signal. All right. There's a signal called a sig kill. This sig kill means signal kill. So to pass a signal, I'll use some range of numbers. I can use +1, +9, +15. Let's check it out. Now, sudo kill +1 space the process ID 4785. 4785. Enter. Let's check status. Four seven eight five. 4785. This guy is still active. Now let's check ps-aux. 47 what? 85. Now let me try another signal kill. Let me use a +9 or -1. Now let's check. PS. This guy is still active. He's refusing to die. Now let me try -15. Let's try it. Let's check now. PUX is still there. Let's try +15. These are different signal kills I'm passing. It's still there. All right. So a lot of the time, you get the challenge of a process refusing to die. So when a process is refusing to die, the easier way to kill that process is by killing the process by the name instead of the process ID. That's why we are being told different ways a process could be killed. Could be killed by the process ID or by the name. If you try the process ID, the process is not dying. Try the name, the process will die. So with the name is just straightforward. There's another command called a pkill. So pkill, I'll just specify the name of the process. The name of the process is MySQL dsave. That is a process name. So if I hit enter, the same process not, I need to put sudo. Sudo. Now let's check this guy now. PAUX. Oh, this guy is stubborn. Let me add my normal signal queue, but you're not supposed to do like this. You're not supposed to do like this. Like 4951. Let me check 4951. Let me check 4951. 4951, MySQL-D. The process is MySQL-D. Now let's check now. 4951. Q plus 1. 4951. Sudo. Okay. Okay. So I was targeting the wrong process ID. All right. I was actually targeting a wrong process ID. Now let's check our system service now. System CTL status MariaDB. So you can see MariaDB has stopped because the process was terminated. Now let's start it again. Sudo system CTL restarts MariaDB. So also sometimes you check which process ID is active. Let's check status now. This guy is back to life. Now it has created a new process ID. I think this should be that guy. This main is not, okay, this MySQL save is not the main process ID. So I think 8389 is the main process ID. All right, so let's check now. Now, if I now say sudo kill -1, -1, or before the let's do something, ps-aux. So you can see this guy is now up. All right. So I want to kill this guy. So to kill this guy, I'll use what the process ID 8589. And everything about MySQL is going to get terminated. Now I'm now say sudo kill, passing a sig kill signal, a signal kill. All right. -1, then the process ID 8589. Let's check. Now let's check PUX now. You can see this guy safe. Let's check 8423. 8423 PUX. Why is not dying? Did we pass? Okay. Let's check. Let's check this. -15 PUX didn't go. So use our PQ with the name MySQL-D. Let's check. Let's 8589. Come. All right. So remember, PQ doesn't accept signal instruction, like the signal by passing the numbers. All right, by passing the numbers. So let me check what killed that guy last time. 40. All right, sudo kill. So let's check. Let's do it +1. So it took some time sending signal to this guy. So that guy has died. Now ps-aux. So it took some time for it to go down, but that's obviously died, right? So now let's just put this command here. So let's just put this command. So to kill a process, kill, then the process ID, right? Process ID. So with this, you could actually kill a process, all right? Now, similarly, either one will kill it. It took some time. The two, they work, all right? So this will kill based on the process ID, all right? Now, this other one, P kill, then the process name. This will kill based on the process name, all right? A process name. Now, with process ID, you can always pass a signal kill. Can pass minus or plus 1, 9, 15. All right? Plus or minus 1, 9, 15. So these are signal queues. They will always ask you, what are those numbers? They are signal queues. All right? Okay. So this is all about processes. Now, there are other utilities that we can use to check for process, right? So now we've used what? We use PS as one of the utility. But there's one other nice utility called top. Top is going to display all the columns in a tabular form. So you can see with top now, I could have somewhere here, top this, how many user, one user, load average is this, tax is 92 total, 1 is running, 55 is sleeping, 0 is stopped, 0 zombie, right? Okay, CPU, blah, 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 blah. Now, the process ID, the user that is running that process, the PRO, the NI, the, what was it, the VERT, the rest, these, percentage CPU, memory CPU. Now, the usefulness of this thing is, most of the time, is the application is, for instance, your system is very slow. It's running slow. And you want to know what is slowing down your system. A lot of the time is a process, it's a running process that is going through a loop, right? It's forming a loop and is causing the system to slow. It is eating up memory and CPU. So when you do your top, you come and check which process is eating more memory and more CPU. So you check, as you can see from this table, it's just only these guys. RO6 log is taking 1.7. Snap plugin is taking 2 points, but top will just be going back and forth. Okay, let's come down. You won't see it, all the processes that you need to see if you're using what top. All right, if you're using top, you won't see, you only see the processes that are eating up resources at the top of the table. All right, so you take note of the process ID. Okay, but now let's check something. To exit now, press Q to exit. Now PS-AUX. Now with this guy now, I can actually check what are the processes that are eating up my CPU and memory. All right, I can check, can see CPU usage and memory usage. A lot are on 0.0000000, except this guy is 0.8. All right, now let's check others. This guy is on 1.7, which is SSM agent worker. All right, it's taking memory of that, and that's it. But if you see a process that is eating more memory, now let's try and that MySQL again. Sudo system CTL restart MariaDB. So I'm going to restart this guy. Now let's check the process, PS-AUX. Let's check MySQL. So MySQL is just taking 0.6. Look at now, this guy, the main process is chunking up a whole lot of 8.7% memory. 8.7 is eating up what? 8.7% of the memory, of the total memory on my system. You can see. So if you now realize that this MariaDB is a problem of your system, is a cause why your system is not responding, all you just need to do is to kill it. Kill it by the name pkill. Pkill, then the name. The name is what? MySQL. Sudo MySQL. Let's give it some time. It's going to go off. Now let's check ps-aux. You can see it is gone. MySQL is gone. So killing with the name is most of the time very effective. Most of the time, very, very what? Effective. So far, so good. That was what? Process management. Is there any query before we move to the next item? Any question? All right. So we're going to be wrapping up this session with regular expression. Okay. Regular expression. So that maybe when we come tomorrow, we shall look at volume management, etc., etc. Now, in regular expression, there's, before we talk about the utility, so regular expression, this is a way, this is a way of parsing data in a Linux system. So when we say parse, you try to search, look for. All right. I didn't touch something. Let me check. Come on, guys. Where can I fix this guy now? All right. Somehow, let me put it here. I know we've missed that, but find. All right. To be very useful for us. Now, regular expression is a way of parsing data. Now, when you say parsing, you're searching for data. You're manipulating data. Thank you. I think that is the right word. By manipulating data. Now, there's a utility that we use to parse data. It's called grep. Grep. Now, this grep is an acronym. I hope I still remember. Grand expression parser. Let's check. Let's Google it. Let's check. Grep. Global regular expression. Thank you. Global regular expression prints. All right. Some author call it a parser. Okay, expression parser. Let's check. Let's go back. Okay, so global global regular expression parser or print. All right, so this guy I can actually filter. Thank you, that's the right word. This utility is used for filtering, to filter information. Now let's come back over our process. When I launch this service, MariaDB service. Then I want to search for that service. Assuming these guys have this information is so many that I can't even look at. I can't see MySQL. So the only way I can filter out MySQL is after running this PS, I'll say a space. Then I will use a pipe symbol on my keyboard. I'm going to pipe the output. I'm going to pipe this output to a filterer, to a parser called what? grep. A parser called what? grep. Now, what do you want to filter? I want to filter out any line that has what? MySQL. I want to filter any of these lines that has what? MySQL. Now, let's check the output. I can see only those lines that has what? MySQL. What if I want to filter only those lines that has solar wind or solar? I'll do the same thing. Solar. And etc. etc. So with this now, it will ease up my filtering skill. Now, this now brings us, take note of, in regular expression, we have three types of utilities. We have one is grep. The other is egrep. And the other is fgrep. Now let's check what these guys are all about. Let's check. Now if I say man, egrep, we have grep, egrep, fgrep. Print lines matching a pattern, right? They are used to print lines that matches patterns. All right. Now, this E means exact. If you're dealing with exact pattern, exact. The F, if you need to filter some information from a file. Okay. Now let's check what they mean. What other arguments you can, what other flags you can pass with the command. So fixed string, extended regex, e pattern, f file, obtain patterns from file. So if you want to obtain a pattern from a file, you use a -f. All right. If you want to ignore case sensitivity, use -i. All right. So we'll use the ones that we could use. All right. We'll use the ones that we could use. Let's go out. Let's go out. Let's get started, guys. All right. Now, so let me use a file, etc passwd. This file. So in this file now, I want to get out the line that has root. So similarly, once I say cut the file, I'm going to grep it and I'll say what? Root. So it will only print for me the lines that has what? The keyword root. Now let me try to use egrep and see what the output will look like. Egrep is the same thing. Now let me use fgrep. It's the same output. So it's either you use grep, use egrep, or fgrep. But I think they have their differences. They look very similar, right? But a lot of the time, you'll be using what? Grep, because grep is very handy, right? Grep is what? Very, very handy. Now, let's stick to grep. Now, assuming now, grep just prints for me all the lines that has what? Root. in it. Now, I want those lines that begins with the word root. I want only those lines that begin with the word root. So you can see these two lines. This first line begins with what? Root. But the second line does not begin with a root. So what do I do? So now I will introduce a character called caret. This caret is a regular expression. It's a regex. It tells grep that, see, go through this file and pick out all the lines that start with what? Root. If I press enter, you see that only that line that starts with the pattern I am looking for will get displayed. The pattern I am looking for will get displayed. All that lines that has roots will be ignored. That didn't start with roots will be ignored. All right, great. Now let's check something now. So this guy now prints me the whole line. What if I don't want the whole line? I just want only the first word or occurrence of what? The word roots. How many occurrence? Now I want to check how many occurrence of the word roots. Now if I remove this caret now, I will see that I have how many occurrence? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 occurrences of the word roots. So I want to check how many times roots occurred in a file. Let's check. Now I'll use what? -O. Enter. So -O is going to print out all the occurrences of what? Of the word I'm searching for. You can see how useful this guy is, right? So you can actually, it's a very powerful tool. Use it to your own advantage to filter out information from a file. It's either we can use it this way or we can use it another way around. Another way around is by using it first. I can say grep-o roots. In which file? In this file /etc/passwd. It's either like this or you go like this. Either way, it's going to work out for you. All right, great. Now, let me have a copy of this file. Do I have it here? I don't have it. Let me have a copy. So I'll copy that file, passwd, in my current directory. I told us last time when you use the dot symbol, it signifies that you want whatever you're doing to take place in your what? In your current directory. So presently I am where? pwd, I'm what? I'm under /home/ec2-user. So I want to copy that file from that location to my what? Current directory. As you can see, that file is not here. So by the time I run this command, that file should be copied from here to what? To my local, to my home, all right? To my EC2 user home. So I'll say copy /etc passwd dot is there now. If I check now, I should have this file. So I want to edit this file. I want to play around this file. Now go into this file using vim passwd. So I want to add some lines. Copy cc, oh sorry, undo the line. YY paste. Now there's something I didn't show us. If you had the opportunity of going through that vim cheat sheets, the cheat sheet I shared the other time, all right, I know a few persons went through it, but a lot of persons didn't go through it. If you had the opportunity, you learn a lot of things from that thing. And again, I'm encouraging us, anything I share, please go through it. Why going through it? If you don't understand, reach out to me. Boss Alpha, I don't understand this thing. All right, we're looking through it. Great. Now, assuming now, let's set a line number. I've set line numbers. How do I go to line 19 from wherever I am. Assuming my concern is to go to line 19 without me pressing my down arrow key. It takes me time. You see it. It takes me time. All right? It takes me time. So how do I go back? To go back to the top of line 1, I'll press GG 2 times. GG takes me back to what? Line 1. You can see now I'm on line 1. So if I want to go to the ending of this file, I'll press Shift G takes me to the ending. So this is the last entry in this file. So if I want to go back to the top, I'll press GG. I'm at the top. To go to the bottom, I'll press Shift G. I'm at the bottom. To the top, GG. Now, I need to go to line 19. How do I do it? So the syntax for that is N capital G. This N means the number, followed by what? Shift G. Let's try it and see. Now, I want to come to 19. So what I will do, I'll type 19. I'll press 19 on my keyboard. 19, Shift G. I'm now there. I want to go to line 32. 32, Shift G. I'm on what? Line 32. So here's the tricks, right? So let's go back to what I wanted to show us. I need to replace all of those characters with capital letter. So to replace without deleting, I'll place my pointer on the character I need to replace. Once I place it, I'll press arrow on my keyboard. I'll press arrow. Arrow means replace. You can see now, is now open for replacement. I can now say arrow, replace with capital O, replace with capital O again, replace with capital T. Okay. I'll do escape. I'll copy some of these lines. I'll paste it somewhere here. Paste. I'll paste another. Paste it somewhere here. Now, see, let me replace this guy. Arrow O-O-T. Now, let me save and quit. Now, I want to cut this guy, pass WD, grep. I want to search for what? Roots. You can see this is the pattern I'm looking for, roots. However, there are other lines that has roots, all caps. If you can check now, cat etc pass WD. I have this line. Where's that line? I have this line. Ew, I'm not saving. Oh, sorry. I did wrong place. Please. I did wrong place. Cat pass WD grep roots. Okay. All right. It has this. Okay. I need to do something. Let me go back to that file. Let me change all of that to let me replace roots, replace OT. So let's replace where again? This OOT. This OOT. What else? Okay, at the top. This OOT. This OOT. Okay, great. Escape, save, and quit. Now, if I do it, cut this guy and grep for just roots, you see that it will only give me those lines that has what? The keyword root. But in as much as I'm getting this root, it is skipping these other lines. Where is that line? Cat pass WD. It's keeping these other lines that has roots in all caps. So how do I target these lines as well? So there's a new flag called -I. So with -I means what? Ignore case sensitivity. It doesn't matter if it is capital arrow or small arrow. Please print for me everything print for me the pattern roots. print for me the pattern root. So if I hit enter, I'm going to have all the lines that has the keyword I'm looking for, both capital and small letters. So this is how you use grep. So we're going to be using grep a lot in the course of our program. All right. Now let's forge ahead. Let's forge ahead. So that was regular expressions. Now we have something called a redirect. All right. A redirect. Under redirect, we have standard inputs, standard outputs, and standard error. All right. We're going to explain all of that. A redirect means when you don't want to display the contents of your output. Now look at this now. If I say cat pass WD, cat pass WD is going to display for me the output on the terminal. But I don't want to display this output on the terminal. I want to redirect this output somewhere else to a new file. All right. So this is what I will do. Instead of me to display this guy on my terminal like this, I will just redirect it into a file. And redirection symbol is identified with a greater than symbol, a greater than sign. So this greater than sign is telling the Linux file system that, see, I want this output, the output of this file, the output to be redirected into another file. It could be, let me give you a name, finance.csv. So you can see with this symbol, it has suppressed the output. So if I check this content now, it should have the same content as what I have here. So if let's go into that finance, you can see I have similar content. I go out. So this is how you perform what? Redirection. So this redirection is called what? Output redirection. It's called what? Standard output. It's called standard output. Standard output is when you redirect a file content, all right, into another file. You don't want it to be displayed on a terminal. You use what? The symbol, a redirect. Similarly, if I need to list the content of this directory, I want to move this whole thing into a file. I want to have it in a file. I can say ls-l redirect into what? Directory.txt. I have suppressed the output. Let's check what is inside dir.txt. Cats dir.txt. I have this whole thing inside of it because of what? Output redirection. All right. So this is how what a redirect works. Great. Now we have input redirection. Input is just like you have a file already exists. Now look at this now. This file already exists and you want to see the content, but I've never seen a better use case of this input redirection. So input, you're taking what already exists and you're displaying it on the terminal. But we can still use cat for that. But let's try it and see. So in input redirection, I can use the less than symbol, then the file name. So this thing now is going to display the contents. He said what? Take the content of this guy and display on the terminal. That's what input redirection looks like. It's identified with what? A less than sign. So let's come back here. So so we have redirects. Redirects. We have outputs redirects identified by what? A greater than symbol. Inputs redirects identified by what? A less than symbol. Then we have the third one, which is what? Standard error. standard error. So this is seen as standard input. This is seen as standard output. So in standard error, so we get to demonstrate standard error when we run a command, a command that how do we demonstrate this, guys? Standard error. All right, let's demonstrate it. Now I run this thing. I know that this is not a command. If I hit enter, it's going to generate an error for me. Now, I want to be able to suppress this error. I don't want this error to be displayed on my terminal. All right? I don't want this error to be displayed on my terminal. What do I do? All right? So I'm going to catch this error. I'll catch this error with a standard error. Now, a standard error could use 2. It's like 2 and 1. All right? I'll put a 2 in front of a greater than symbol. Then I'll redirect that error into a file. Let me call it error.txt. So you can see now, these are suppressed the standard error that is supposed to be displayed on the terminal. So if I check the content of this file now, using cat error, I will see that that error was compressed into what? This file. So this is how you capture what? A standard error. It's either 2 and 1. Let me try on that one. Let me use 1 again. I want to append. To append, you use double greater than symbol, right? We use it during, all right, so I can't use 1. So I can't use 1. So let me use ampersand, 1 ampersand. Okay, 1 ampersand and 2. Let's check the content of this guy. So you can see it has been appended. So 1 ampersand and 2 gives us what? Standard error. So standard error could have it as 1 ampersand greater than or 2 greater than. So these are the two feature you can use to achieve what? A standard error. Now that brings us to what we call an exit code. So that there are different exit codes that means different things. There's exit code 0, there's exit code 1. Let me type it. Exit codes. They will always ask you this thing. They've asked me several in interviews. So exit code. These are codes that tells if a command was successful or not. These are codes that tells if a command, if a bash command was successful or not. Now, there are different exit codes. There are different exit codes. We have 0, we have 1, we have, let me check, guys. Linux exit codes. We have 1, we have, should start with 0 now. This guy is mad. And their meanings, all right, 0. 0 means the command was successful. Command executed with no errors. That's what 0 means. 1 means code for generic error. Command was executed with what? With errors. 2 means incorrect command, meaning that the command doesn't exist. 126 means permission denied. 127, command not found. Now let's try to replicate these things. Let's start to replicate these different exit codes. Now I want to start with 0. All right. Now to start with 0, this is what I will do. I will say cat etc pass wd. Now this command was successful. So how do I know? I will say echo waiting $? Now if this thing returns a 0, it will return a 0. Now it tells me that the command it goes to say that command, the previous command I typed, was successful. That's why what is returning what? A 0. Now let's type something that was not successful. Let's look for let me put h here. Or this will be a not found. Enter. No such file or directory. Now let's echo the exit code. $? To get 1. It means that code for generic error. No such file or what? Directory. Now let's try to incorrect command. Let's try to demo this exit code too. Now we know that cat is a command, right? So I want to add an s, etc pass wd. Command not found. Let's check the exit code. Echo $? All right, it's giving me 127. What's 127? Command not found. Two, incorrect command or argument. Okay, let's check this guy now. So this will go with ps dash v. Let's check if this argument exists. Oh, there's this argument too. Let me check dash capital P. It go d. Let me check dash x xd dash c. Oh, this is in d dash q. Thank you. So now this is what? Incorrect argument. Now let's check now. Let's try to echo the exit code. $? I'm still getting 1. Generic errors, right? So this is how you can replicate these codes, but always have this thing at the back of your head, because you'll be asked, what is the exit code 0? Exit code 0 means command was successful. Exit code 1, it was not successful. It's either 1 or 0. Exit code 2, incorrect command. Exit code 6, permission denied. Let me try that permission denied. Now I need to start a service. System ctl restart MariaDB. I'm getting what? This is field of MariaDB. This is permission denied. Now let's check. Echo $? No. I need to get that permission denied. What do I do? Okay. /home. Let me try to create a file inside tk or change directory /home tk. Permission denied. Now let's check the echo. Echo this guy. $? Oh, you know these guys now. I'm getting 1. As well get unable to execute. All right, guys. So this is everything about what an exit code, right? So let's check. So that was exit code. Okay. Now we now have the last one. I will do this tomorrow. Please remind me, guys. We'll talk about find tomorrow. wget and call. So wget and call, these are two utilities that are used to download files from a remote machine. No, from the internet. From the internet. wget and call. All right. So these are used to download files from the internet. Let me start with wget. All right, this is used to download files from what? The internet. Just simple. All you need to do, let's go on the internet, let's check for a file. Let me look for sample CSS project. Let me look for, what do I look for? Should I look for? Okay, let me look for Apache. No, I have it. Let me look for come on, guys, come on. Okay, sample HTML CSS projects. Let me check this guy. Let me look for something I can download. Google. What can I download? Binga, can you give me some heads up? Some image. I won't get that image properly. Okay, images. Right, images. Right. Let me. What's that? Let me go here. No. Let me go here. All right. Now, no, this is okay. Great. Now, look at this, guys. I want to download this image. See this image. Assuming this is a file I need to download. It's not an image. It's just a file you need to download. So what you do, you just come here on the file, right? Click on the file and say what? Copy link address. Copy link address. Click on copy link address. Come to your terminal. On your terminal, you now type wget. You paste that thing that you copy. You press enter. You can see we are getting what? A request 200. Okay. It means that that file was downloaded. Now let's check our, where's that file? This is the file. This is the picture file that got downloaded. Now let me do something that makes more sense. Let me look for AWS CLI. AWS CLI install. I can get some files here. Let's check. Let's check for Mac. Now, CO, this is a package, the PKG. So I want to download this guy. Right click, copy link address. Come to your base machine and do what? wget and paste that link. Enter. Downloaded. Let's check. You can see I have the file. So with wget, you can actually download the file from the internet into your what? Base machine. Let's do something more useful. I go to Google again and I say sample GitHub projects. I go to GitHub. This is JFrog. CO. One second, guys. Let me go back. I need to go to GitHub itself. All right, GitHub. Okay, so let me open this guy. This is a project, right? On GitHub. So this is what I will do. I'll come to code. Don't worry, you will learn all of these things. All right. And I need to download this zip file. But if I download this zip file, it's going to go to my own base machine. I want to download this zip file to my Linux machine, this guy. So this is what I will do. I'll just right click and say what? Copy link address. Copy link address. That's all. come to your Linux machine, do what wget and paste that link, enter. It has downloaded that file. Let's check. So that is, where's the file? That is, where's that file? Should have master something. Here's the file, master.zip. So this file will have the whole of this content. Let's check if it has that content. I'll now say unzip master.zip. So I have unzip it. We're going to learn compression. I think that should be, fuck, I didn't put it, guys. Regular expression. I miss it out. File compression. I think, let me add that guy. File compression and I'm not put this in. See me. File compression, decompression. Okay, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. Fuck, man, I don't put that. Okay, so I've decompressed the file. Now let's check. I have the file droplets master. If I go into that droplet master, I have every content that are on my GitHub repository. Docs main interface. Let's check the first three. Docs domain interface. Where are you? Interface, right? So this is how you use what wget, right? Wget. Similarly, you can still use what call. So call has dual purpose. Call is used to check if you could access, it's used for accessing a domain on your terminal, right? Assuming now, let me give this command is used to test the reachability of a domain. Now, if you want to check if that domain is reachable, if it returns a 200, if it returns an HTTP request of what value of 200, it means it is reachable, right? Now let's check it out. Now, for instance, now I take a website. Let me check this github.com/spy. Copy that guy. Come to your terminal and just type call. You paste it. If I hit enter, look at now. It's going to display all the content of this website on the terminal. Now let's go from the beginning. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. All right. So for me to pipe this guy, I can pipe this guy so I can see from the beginning, right? So I want to see from the beginning. So I will say call space. I will pipe it with what? A less command. We did less. If you remember, we did less. We did head. We did tail, right? Less. I want to see lesser of these outputs, page by page. I hit enter. Now let's go from the beginning. It will, hey, take me down. Right, so that's the big, I can see the very top, very top. Now let me use more instead of less. Let me use more and see. I still can't see from the very beginning. I can't see this part. All right. So with call, you can actually check if a website is reachable. It's also display for us 200. Let me check with localhost. Localhost. It's failing. All right. So if the site is not too much, we are supposed to get something like 200 from the head. All right. So you can use call to check for a domain reachability. Now, another function of call could be in downloading files from the internet, Now, I need to download this same guy, this same guy, right? So all I need to do, I'll right click and say what? Copy link address. I need to download it using what? Call. So this is what I will do. Let me go to this class directory. It's empty. So I'll just say call dash L, then this guy. Let's check. No, let me try dash O. Can mess up terminal. Let me dash O is to redirect this guy. No, capital O, this small o, capital O. All right, so capital O, I've gotten that file. Let's check. So you can see I have downloaded this file. So call capital O, then the link to that file. I have downloaded the file. So you can see how we can use both wget and call to download files from the internet, right? With this few points, guys, I think I want to bring today's session to a close. Okay, so we've seen process management. We saw regular expressions with the use of grep. We saw redirect, both standard input, standard output, and standard error. We also saw what exit codes are, and we ended up looking at wget and call, which are used for downloading files from the internet. We'll be using more of wget, all right? Wget to download files from the internet, right? We'll do a lot of these, okay? When we come tomorrow, we shall continue with what? Find. Find some files in your environment, right? Find file compression and volume management, right? So we are picking them one after the other. At this juncture, guys, is there any question before we call it a night? Is there any question before we call it a night? So since there is no question, we will call it a night. Let me stop recording. Stop recording.